A young boy is bitten on the foot by a shark in Lake Pontchartrain. The U.S. begins dropping aid to refugees hiding in the mountains of Iraq after U.S. airstrikes target Islamic militants. And the NOPD is putting dozens of potential recruits on the fast track.
Live from the French Quarter, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Kelly. Tonight, a 7-year-old boy is recovering after being bitten by a shark while swimming in Lake Pontchartrain. Here's a look at the bite marks on the boy's foot. Marine wildlife experts say the boy was probably bitten by a bull shark, which flocked to the lake during the summer. The boy was bitten near South Shore Harbor on Friday. This story was developed by our partners at the New Orleans Advocate. You can read more about why some believe the lake is a nursery for sharks at theneworleansadvocate.com. And the American military was back in action above Iraq today, conducting airstrikes and dropping more humanitarian supplies. President Obama also spoke about the crisis this morning. Wendy Gillette reports from New York.
The U.S. military announced Saturday night that warplanes conducted 4 more airstrikes against Islamic militants. Earlier in the day, the U.S. made a second humanitarian airdrop of food and water to thousands of Iraqis who are trapped in the mountains of northern Iraq by the militants known as both ISIS and ISIL. Kurdish television showed Kurdish forces delivering additional aid to the stranded Yazidi Kurds. They're members of a religious minority group under attack by the extremists. A small number of the refugees were able to scramble aboard the plane as it took off. Some cried, overwhelmed by their ordeal. President Barack Obama addressed the crisis before leaving for a 2-week vacation on Martha's Vineyard.
We feel confident that we can prevent ISIL from going up a mountain and slaughtering the people who are there.
The president also said an international effort is underway to figure out how to rescue the thousands of stranded Kurds. The U.S. launched airstrikes on Friday against the insurgents near the Iraqi Kurdish capital of Erbil.
I don't think we're going to solve this problem in weeks, if that's what you mean. I think this is going to take some time.
The president called the military campaign a long-term project, but has promised that combat troops won't join the fight. Wendy Gillette for CBS News.
The president said there are no plans to close the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad or the consulate in Erbil. New Orleans police are investigating a deadly shooting that shut down part of the interstate in New Orleans East this morning. It happened around 3:30 this morning. Police found 2 men shot to death inside a gold Toyota on the I-10, just past the Crowder Boulevard exit. Both men were shot multiple times. If you have any information that could help police, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. Last month, the number of police officers on the city's force dropped to a new low. And now the NOPD is ramping up its efforts to attract and hire new officers with a new pilot program that puts new recruits on the fast track. The crime that plagues the city is no deterrent for these hopeful recruits looking to protect and serve along New Orleans' finest.
I'm glad to be out here. I'm happy to be out here, and all I really want is an opportunity to serve the city of New Orleans in the same way that I serve my country.
I want to be able to impact the community in a positive light.
Come on, give me that one.
And the NOPD was both proud and happy to see just how many men and women answered the call to serve.
We had 70 applicants, which is a lot. 70 applicants to actually fill out paperwork and apply to come and sit for the test.
Come on, stretch them out.
As part of the pilot program launched today, potential recruits were able to complete all 3 requirements needed to get into the academy in just 1 day. Everything from the multiple choice test and written exam to the agility test, a process that normally takes weeks.
It's easier. You bring everything today and you get everything done today. You can actually start the process today versus waiting 2 to 3 months in between.
I think it's great for manpower issues. It helps because what happens is you allow yourself 1 day to knock everything out.
Right now, the NOPD is losing 2.5 times the number of officers it's been able to recruit this year. And with the number of officers at a new low, the department is working to fill its next recruitment class by the fall, when its only recruitment class of this year graduates.
We're doing continual hiring, and we are processing our applicants as quickly as possible so that we can fill a class and keep the classes going so that we can get a lot of qualified candidates out on the streets to serve.
The current recruiting class started out with 32 recruits, but now that some have dropped out, only 27 are expected to graduate the academy this fall. Well, 4 people are in the hospital, 2 in critical condition after 2 gunmen opened fire on a crowd of 150 people in Houma. It happened during a birthday party at the CW Hall around 11 o'clock last night. When deputies arrived, they found a man shot once outside the building. 3 other victims made it to the hospital on their own. So far, police do not know what led to that shooting. Detectives say a man accused of a violent murder may have killed several other people. Pedro Monteroso Navas is facing second-degree murder charges in the stabbing death of his girlfriend, 24-year-old Heidi Monroy. He made his first appearance in court yesterday. Detectives told a judge that relatives of Monteroso Navas claimed he killed up to 4 other people in Honduras while working as a human smuggler. He's currently being held on $1 million bail. We saw another round of showers this evening, and the rain chances are or possibly could be increasing the rest of the weekend. Alexander Cranford joins us now from the Forecast Center with a look at what to expect.
Yeah, tomorrow's looking very similar to today, and today we actually did see a good number of showers and thunderstorms starting off over the North Shore and then spreading all the way to the South Shore. Still a couple of very spotty small showers very close to the coast. I'll show you that in a moment, but we did first of all get some great photos in today. This one is from Metairie. Some water covering the roadway there a little bit. This one from Lisa Lanning. Also, Bobby Fletcher Jr. Tweeted me this picture from Franklinton. Thought it was a beautiful shot there of the trees, a path there, and some muddy water kind of building up in that little pathway and the raindrops there. And John Pollard sent this from Kenner, kind of the base of a rainbow, if you can look closely, beneath a storm cloud. Really cool shot there near the airport. Currently on Live Pinpoint Doppler, we're looking at a shower or 2 along the coast. These are some rainfall amounts from earlier today. Metairie about 2.5 inches, about an inch lower than that at Hammond, and pretty close to about 1 to 1.5 inches for some portions of New Orleans. And here are those coastal showers. This one over extreme lower Plaquemines Parish around Triumph, moving on to the south, and this one just south now of Houma, heading toward Dulac with a lightning strike or 2, so you might hear a rumble of thunder with that little shower continuing to sink to the south. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. Those temperatures dive into the upper 70s for lows and then bounce back into the low 90s tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, looks similar to today. I'll track it out on Precision Cast coming up, and we are looking at that steamy and stormy kind of combo heading into most of next week for the weather pattern. I'll show you what I mean coming up in your complete forecast.
All right, thank you so much, Alexandra. Well, those passing showers may have helped some at the Dirty Linen Night clean up. The event started as a spoof on the Warehouse District's White Linen Night to get people to simply put on the same clothes the next weekend and visit the art galleries on Royal Street. Many shop owners gave away drinks and treats to lure in potential customers. You may have saw them around the Dirty Linen Night, but earlier today, the French Quarter was a sea of red. Thousands came out for the Red Dress Run, and as Antoine Harris shows us, the event has made great strides over the years in helping local charities.
The Red Dress Run kicked off today at Armstrong Park in a major way as thousands of people came out to support their favorite local charities, all dressed in their best red. All decked out in red, thousands of the red dresses invade the French Quarter, all in the name of charity.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great time to just hang out with your friends and wear a red dress, even if you're a guy. Pretty funny to see, and it's for a good cause.
There was just about every type of fashion faux pas you could think of in Congo Square, but this day it was allowed. There was plenty of music, dancing, and fun to be had before the group gathered outside the square to take the party into the French Quarter. The NOH3 group has put this race on for 2 decades, starting with just a few dozen people to now 7,000. All the money raised is donated to local charities, so any humiliation is all in the name of giving back. For some, it's a time to have more than one reason to celebrate. Michael Simmerall turned 70 today.
Dressing up is pretty exciting, you know, and then I got a little red car and I pose in front of it and I post it on the car sites, you know, and I get out there and then I always like hearing my granddaughter say, "Oh, Grandpa, you didn't."
Others drove hundreds of miles to help paint the town red and celebrate with their friends and family.
Love New Orleans, always have a blast, and this run is going to be amazing. Everybody looks great, love the outfits.
And for the thousands here in attendance, great is just one way to describe it. Antoine Harris, Eyewitness News.
Well, it's a sure way to ruin your commute. Coming up, how crews in Michigan tackled a messy spill after a truck carrying human waste crashed.
Utility crews here on the Big Island of Hawaii are trying to take advantage of the break in bad weather before Hurricane Julio swirls just north of the islands. I'm Big Atchaban in Pahoa. We'll have that story coming up.
And as we head to break, here's a look at some of the photos you've shared with us from the Red Dress Run.